Good evening, everybody.
Hello, everyone. How are you all doing tonight?
Let's see. Larry Otis is apparently going to challenge me to a duel.
A duel of what?
I'm not sure.
Andrew to a duel. A duel.
A duel?
Very nice.
All right. We hope everybody is enjoying. Well, it's fine weather where I'm at right now. Hopefully, it is where you're at. So,
It's
if you have fine weather, I hope you're enjoying it.
we're coming to the close of summer here.
No.
End of August.
End of
School,
August.
back to school, back to work.
No back to school. I gave that up years ago. Oh, Joseph Lipinski says it's not going to be a duel of wits. And I see our friend Taya there saying hello from Georgia. I see she was down at the what do I want to call it? Southern Regional. I always get that
easy
wrong.
for you to say.
The Southern Regional get together. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. My brain is all kind of goofy right now.
No, it's raining in
Raining in Seattle. Imagine that.
No, in Florida. Oh, damn it, missed it. There it goes.
Missed it.
Raining in Florida.
All right. Well, bite your tongue.
Well, because I said it's the end of summer.
Well, John's got that countdown to the first day of winter going all the time.
Well, I, being down here in the South, we don't have a winter, so to speak. So,
no winter. You say that now, but you're going to get like all kinds of rain and stuff, or not rain, freezing rain and snow and ice and all that good stuff. Now that you said that.
But if it happens, it's gone by the afternoon.
I see.
It doesn't last long.
Brian's apparently canning pasta sauce instead of working on train project. Brian, RLD's coming up here in 30 days?
Yeah, I got to get
a little over 30 days. Yeah, 30 days. All right. Well, let's
picking up my bet guns.
Let's start off with any new products that are out there. I know you have a couple that you wanted to show yourself before I showed some other ones, Nico.
You want to start with me?
Yeah, let's start with you.
All right. So we have the air tanks for the Pacific and Mikado. This goes under the side. Here is the original. So if you could see, you have the sink marks on there from the injection molding. So with mine, you will not have that anymore because it will be all clean. So we don't have that anymore. And the second item we have is for those of you that have GP40s, if you lost your swing hanger, that is the swing hanger for the GP40.
Huh.
And that just pops in there. That's a separate part. Here's the original on this side.
Now you got me wondering if I'm missing any of those. I never paid attention to that. I think I have them all.
You think, but you don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to look now.
So that's 2 new products we have. And then we're also working on this piece for Mr. Cody.
Ooh.
That's for the GP7, GP9, the air tanks that go on top.
Oh, yeah.
They are printing as we speak.
This will go nicely with the full-length fuel tank that Mr. Gilchrist has put up on printables and Thingiverse.
Did you see his nice cars he just did? The ballast cars?
I did.
Those are beautiful.
Absolutely.
So that's what I got going on. And then we also will be doing the GP60 shades because Cody was nice enough to break some. So
no, he didn't break them. He lost one. And despite me having no memory of this incident, supposedly he found it and gave it to me at my house. And I've got like 10 variations of where supposedly I was at when he handed it to me and where I put it. But he's turned my house upside down a couple times and hasn't found it. But as soon as you make him some, it'll randomly appear.
No, I'll be making it. Interior for the back boiler of an Aristocraft Pacific. No, I don't think I'll be making that. I don't see a big call for that.
Oh, just the back end piece.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you can make if you have the original, you can detail it up. Cody says right. He doesn't believe you.
It's okay.
But yes, I will get those done. He needed, I think, GP40. Correct me if I'm wrong. He needed GP40 vent shades and the
yeah. He needs GP40s as well because he broke those.
Yep. So,
I feel like he's very abusive to his trains. He shouldn't be allowed to have them.
Yep. He needs to be a little gentler.
So, another new product announcements or old new again products.
Re-releases.
Re-releases. There we go. Bachmann, of course, is doing the 2-bay coal hoppers, which you may have seen in the past back when Aristo made them.
That was one of the last things they made, too.
And if I remember correctly, I think those actually had pads for putting 906s on them, did they not?
They did.
Yeah.
I wish they would continue that and add them all to all the other cars they're doing.
And I see they're actually doing a black painted unlettered version as well, which will be nice for a lot of people, I imagine.
Yep. Put your own railroad on it.
The French Canadian said, you mean a backhead. So, okay. Backhead. Just don't backhand me when I see you in a week, John.
We are going to see John in a week. I haven't seen John in a long time.
Yeah. And these will have coal loads. Yes. That is one of the nice things I like is they will come with coal loads in them. Trying to think. Yeah, they came with coal loads in them when Aristo did them, did they not?
Yep. No, they do not have a brown unlettered right now. Just the
just what you see on the screen there, John. It looks like two different numbers for Baltimore and Ohio, 2 numbers for Southern, 2 Santa Fe numbers, and a painted unlettered black.
Well, you could get one of the Santa Fe and remove the lettering. It'd be pretty easy.
Okay, I'm going to say it, John, and then you tell me if I'm right. Simkovich. I won't say it any other way till you tell me if I was right or wrong.
It's not that hard. It's just how it's spelled.
Yeah. I got no idea what Larry's talking about.
Kenny, that is Bachmann.
Yes, that is Bachmann. All right. I got it correct. Thank you, John. I will make note of that now and then get it wrong again later.
I was going to say you're going to make note of it and then forget it by the end of the show.
I'll come back and watch this live stream, though, so I can remember. The other thing that Bachmann had up there, at least 2 of these 3 things were made by Aristo before. The covered bridge kit and the station platform kit.
Yes.
They're also going to be putting out. Now, the Christmas crossbucks, I think that's some new item they came up with. Because I don't think I've seen those before. And I don't think we have anything else new from manufacturers, or at least that I'm aware of.
Well, the only thing that did come in now are the Bethgons from AML.
Oh, yeah, those did come in.
Yes.
Have we heard anything on the single dome tank cars from Bachmann?
Those are not in yet, no.
Okay. And John says 207 days is the first day of spring. See, I knew he had that count going. Okay, so
move south, and then you don't have to count that as much.
So we do have some events coming up, and as always, if you go over to largescaletrains.com, we do have an event calendar where you can also submit any events that we might be missing, if they're G-Scale related, or I guess they don't have to be 100% G scale. Majority of it has to be G scale. There's plenty of sites that list all scale shows in that, so I try to focus on G scale. G gauge. Let's not get into that topic. So over on the old events calendar, if we take a look, and of course, just wrapping up today is the Southern Regional Get-Together that the Georgia Garden Railway Society put on today. I've heard lots of good feedback from our friend David from Splitjaw, which got to show that sponsored video, I guess, now that I've remembered that. As well as our other sponsor, Chris Dixon, and Charlotte Dixon. I don't want to forget her, from Me Loves Trains. Everyone has said that it seems like it was a pretty good event. And before I forget and go any further, I'm going to show our sponsor video for Splitjaw real quick, since he's gracious enough to put up with us. So just give me one moment here. We'll be right back.
The following episode of Large Scale Live is brought to you by Splitjaw, makers of quality metal products for the G-scale modeling world. For rail clamps, expansion joints, bridges, and more, Splitjaw Products has you covered. For more information, visit their website at www.railclamp.com.
All right. Good thing we got our guest in the background reminding me to do my sponsor videos. Maybe we should hire him. So there's two things on the beginning of this list that I want to point out. These are private garden railroads. So if you would, well, you should always be respectful of where you go for an open house, but be extra respectful if you would attend either one of these because it is someone's personal home. The first one coming up is the Conrail Archibald Division. It's our friend Kyle Kuiper. And actually, I have, where'd it go? I actually have a advertisement for his that he wanted to play as soon as I find it here. There it is.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday! It's rail pounding G-Gauge mayhem, and this Kyle Kuiper hosts the Conrail Archibald Subdivision Open House. There won't be a quarter mile of death or 7,000 horsepower nitro-burning suicide machine, but there will be 18 volts DC pulsing through the rails as you get to witness the death-defying 100-car hopper train. Admission is free, but if you bring your own seat, you'll probably only need the edge. Call the number at the bottom of your screen if you want to be there! Sunday, September 1st at 11 a.m.
Did you get that banner off there while the number was still up there, Nico?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So I'm not going to put Kyle's phone number in the chat, mainly because I don't want bots being able to skim his phone number. So you are welcome to go back and pause the video at that spot and get his number if you'd like to call and text him for his address to attend his open house.
And we will both be there.
Yes, we will both be there. And why is John putting hashtag Splitjaw in there?
I think he's hoping to win something that's not available for...
Okay. This guy's on something. Yeah. So the next item up on here is the Albany Western Garden Railway on September 7th, which, since I didn't mention, but the video did September 1st for Kyle's, by the way. Albany Western is September 7th, and that is Albany, Illinois. Is our friend Kevin Huggins. And again, if you go over to the website, you can click into these and get more info. There's a full flyer for Kevin's open house where you can get his address and everything.
I wish I could make it to that, but there's too much going on in September already.
I understand that all too well. Moving on from that, of course, we have the Columbus Garden Railway Society Garden Railway Tour coming up next Sunday, the 8th. I won't spend too much time on that because we might be spending a lot of time on it here very shortly. What is that 100-car hopper train? Well,
It would be 100
I believe
cars.
Kyle was going to attempt to run a 100-car hopper train on his layout for his open house. I believe that's something he's been wanting to achieve.
Yep, we're bringing some up.
You're bringing some up?
Yep.
Sweet. Coming up September 14th out in Tulsa is the Tulsa Garden Railroad Club is having their 2024 tour. That is actually Saturday and Sunday. So September 14th and 15th, 9 to 4 on Saturday and 1 to 4 on Sunday. And of course, you also get another chance to see Nico and I if you're going to the RLD Hobbies open house the end of September. Since everybody always showed up a day early, Robbie decided he's going to make it 3 days this year. So it's September 26th, 27th, and 28th. But we know what's going to happen. There's going to be that handful of guys that are going to show up earlier than that. So next year it'll probably be a 4-day open house.
Eventually it'll be the whole month.
Ooh, wow. The RLD Hobbies September open house. September.
Yes.
Oh, I like it. I don't know if I could be away that long, though. And of course, Robbie's event is always free. Come and hang out. You can run your trains, but they do got to be battery or live steam. He doesn't run track power. And of course,
Vernon said that the Tulsa is 10 locations open that weekend.
Oh, nice. Very nice. What was I going to say? Oh, and of course for Robbie's, there's no setting up and selling. If you sold something to someone beforehand, that's fine, but you can't set up and sell as a vendor. It's kind of more of a social gathering, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Also in October on the 6th is going to be the Pennsylvania Garden Railway Tour that's sponsored by the Railway Museum of Pennsylvania. And to answer John's question, I would like to come over for that. I know you're going to ask John. John Simkovich. Let's see, I got it right again. Is Kyle doing mid-train helpers? It's a good question. He will have to answer that for us.
It depends on how much of a grade he has.
I give it a C.
That's not what I was talking about.
And that's all the events I have for 2024 on there. I made a mistake of not pointing out on the last show. So these next couple, these are into 2025, and some of these don't have really a whole lot of details yet, but the dates are there. Going into 2025, May 31st will be the Northeast Ohio Large-Scale Train Show up here near me, up by Warren, Ohio. June 18th and 22nd next year will be the 40th National Garden Railway Convention. That'll be in Sacramento, California. And then as well, and I always like to point out for the Big Train Operator Club, their conventions, you do have to be a member and register to go and pay the registration fee. But the membership fee is $50 for the year. And that includes 4 quarterly magazines and a full color 12-month calendar as well in that price. But their convention is going to be July 13th to the 18th next year, and that's actually going to be in Helen, Georgia next year. I'm hoping that's not real toasty in July. I tend to be a cool weather kind of person.
Why is that?
I just, I'm not big on the whole sweating thing. I do it just thinking about it. Okay. Larry's got to be particular, but yes, $55 if you're paying electronically. I want to pay in rupees, Larry. Can I do that? Do you accept those?
Do you have rupees?
I don't know. I'm waiting to find out if Larry will accept.
Yeah.
And since Larry wants to get way ahead of the game, the 2026 NGRC will be in Massachusetts, but I'll go one step further than Larry, and the 2027 NGRC is going to be in Nashville. But I really don't have anything to put up about that one yet. But I just wanted to one-up Larry since he was getting ahead of me.
Did they announce the dates for the Northeast show yet?
Yeah, I thought he announced those at the very end of the show.
I thought so too. I'm looking on their website. I don't see it. They haven't updated their website yet.
Yes, no, maybe.
No, I don't see them.
Don't see him.
Nope.
Okay. We'll have to double check on that one. Uh-oh. What's going on here?
Last week in April 2025.
I'm always scared when Larry's private messaging me.
Uh-oh.
There you go. It says last week in April 2025. So
That's
that
what I
would
just
be
said.
yeah.
But there's an echo in here.
Echo.
26th and 27th.
You are correct. Not quite sure what that sound just was. Okay. Well, all right. I'll stop boring everybody.
Yes, please.
Well, actually, no, I can't promise that. So we will move on, shuffle on along here. I'll get rid of that. We'll run our sponsor video for Chris and Charlotte from Me Loves Trains real quick, and then we will be back with our guest. And there it is. All right. Hang on. Make sure I grab the right window here. Oh, Tim Stump. As of October 1st, the BTO membership will and still be 50 if paid by check. But he didn't address if I could pay with rupees.
Not even going there. Leaving that one alone.
All right. So, without further ado, our esteemed guest, Mr. Jed Hacker from the Columbus Garden Railway Society.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Jed.
Oh, wait. I'm a member of the club, too.
Which club?
Columbus
actually-
Garden Railway Society.
Well, actually, yeah. Can I call it a club if it's a society?
I thought we were a hair club for men here.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm winning right now.
Yes.
I mean, you guys definitely got me beat on a facial hair there.
Got to compensate somehow.
Uh-oh. I see Dave Bush is in the chat watching. You better watch yourself, Jed.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's been texting me the last couple of minutes. Couldn't figure out how to log in. It's been under his daughter's account or something.
Let's see here.
We got somebody, Crazy Train 525 wants to be a sponsor.
He wants to be a sponsor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're interested in that, email. Yep, there you go. Thank you, Andrew.
Yep. Shoot us an email, crazytrain at info@largescaletrains.com, and we'll get back to you on that.
The best money he'll ever spend.
I've been trying to become a sponsor for 2 years now. I'm still working on it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. But, I'm still waiting. Are you supplying me with a sponsor ad, or was I making it for you? I thought you were supplying it.
Yeah, I got to get to that.
Okay. So see, it's not Nico waiting on me for a change. I'd just like to point that out.
This time.
Oh, and by the way, John's mom would like to know if your wife is accompanying you to Kyle's house.
No, she is not. She is spending time with my mom.
She's. I'm like, wait a minute. Your mom lives up here. Now
Yes.
I follow.
And that's
I
why
got it.
I'll be up there, is because I'll be at my mom's.
I got it. I fully understand now.
He catches up eventually.
So, what are we talking about tonight, Jed? Trains, and more trains.
Hopefully they're G
Sure.
scale.
Yeah, let's talk about some fall tour train tour coming up here with our Columbus Garden Railway Society in the greater Columbus area.
Okay. Want me to put your slides up there for you?
Sure.
Okay. don't know if you're ready to use them yet or not, but I figure I'll put them up there for you for when you are.
Yeah, I think we're ready here. I've only got 435 slides to get through, so no, I'm kidding. No, there are around 60. So.
Hang on, let me get in my PowerPoint presentation mode. Is it over yet? No, I'm sorry.
So, well, this is, I believe, our 33rd year having a fall tour where we feature gardens around Columbus and the Central Ohio area. It was all started way back. Richard Abler, who he and his wife got involved, and I believe the first tour only had 2 or 3 houses on it, but it was well received. And from there, it grew to maybe 5 and 10 and more popular. I've been going on the tour since 2005, and just it caught my imagination to get started in the hobby, just seeing what individuals were doing in their backyard. You can go see the professional layouts at museums or at different parks, but the creativity that people have in their backyard, everybody's got their own idea of what their garden railroad needs to be. And that's just the beauty of this hobby, is there's no right or wrong theme to have.
That's why I love going on the tours, and I mean, sometimes you get an idea for your own layout, and you see something at somebody else's layout and be like, oh, I want that on my layout. So you come home and start destructing and reconstructing.
Yeah. So, well, let me start on the first slide here. So this is just kind of where we're looking at around Columbus. You can see most of them are north of I-70 and kind of in the central area there, northern central area of Columbus. But we'll have, was it 15? Yeah, I think 15.
Highest number I see is 15.
Yep. There's 13 that are at people's houses, and then there are 2 kind of in public areas, one at a metro park and one at one of the local malls. But they're open all the time. So I would definitely, you won't be able to get to all of the layouts, of course, but
you never can.
You never can. And but we're going to go through all of these to kind of give you an idea what to look at. I'm not going to give away everything at everybody's layout, so you don't want to give away the secrets of everyone's layout, and kind of have
to tease them.
Oh yeah, it's a little teaser, and half the fun is walking up that driveway into the backyard and going, "Oh, look at what's back here! This is so cool." I love that part of going on these open house tours.
The first tour I ever came down 2 years ago, I had no idea what to expect, and some houses you would think pulling up out front like what you're going to find out back, and yeah.
You're totally blown away. Yep.
How big of, like, I see 13 way down in the corner and 1 way up in the other corner. I mean, what's that drive look like for somebody? Like, if they're,
well, I think 13 into Columbus is 20 minutes maybe. I'm trying to remember because I've made that drive before.
Yeah, that's down in Mount Sterling. It's a little ways off the highway to get into proper downtown Columbus. Well, let's say from 13 to 12, I would guess is around a 20-minute drive.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I know from my stop is number 4, and to get out the Craig Big Rig at stop number 1, it's a half an hour drive from my house to his house.
And this is all on one day, correct?
Yes, all one day.
So you could go see all of them, but you wouldn't be able to enjoy all of them if you tried to.
Yeah. Right.
I think the most I've been able to hit is like maybe 5 of them, I think. And that was me kind of taking my time.
Yeah. I've known people to hit all of them, but you got to start early. I'm not going to advertise that you could probably show up a half an hour early at the first one. Most of us are probably already running by that time. So, and we're a very friendly club. So, you don't have to be shy. People walk up into my yard at least a half an hour early every year anyways. So it's not a problem.
So our friend Mike, he says he's hit both of those in one day. Are you saying you've gone to number 1 and number 13 in one day? Because if you have, that's kind of impressive. Actually, I think I ran into you at number 1 a couple years ago.
Yeah. Well, why don't we get started on the tour here? So stop number 1 is Craig Big Rig's layout. He's out in Johnstown. He probably has the longest amount of track laid down right now in it, but he's going to put an asterisk next to this stop because with the his pond kind of needed some rebuilding this year, and so he rented a backhoe and started digging. So yeah, the main line kind of went right through the middle of that at one time, but he's got a new pond. And last weekend we put a liner inside of it, and it's starting to fill up with water. But I would still highly encourage going out here because even the short line, what he calls the short line routes that he has, are still probably larger than most of the other railroads out on our tour. He's got a lot of track put down. If you look up on the upper level there, there's 2 other mainline tracks going around. But if you want to see a construction project going on, I would check this out because next year it will be all grown in and it'll look like nothing ever happened. But it's kind of
says if they show up early, put them to work.
Yes.
Well, I'm not showing up at Jed's early now.
You'll be pumping water and installing plants and.
Yep. So that's Craig's. The next one here, stop number 2 is Deb Sweet's layout. She's in Westerville. She's been on the tour, over 10 years, if I had to guess.
And shamefully, I have never gone to her house, so I'm going to have to try and make it this year.
Yeah, she's only about 3 miles from my house, so there's no excuse. If I see it at my house, you better get over to Deb's. And she's our tour coordinator, so she does all the advertising and the planning and getting signs out to everybody. She took that over 8 or 9 years ago as well.
That's a lot of wrangling.
Yeah, it sure is. It's a thankless job, and she does a great job with it, for sure. And she and her husband built this, like I said, around 10 years ago, and her husband sadly passed away, and we kind of helped her out. We took out some of the switches just to make it a little easier, so everything ran. Don was really into being able to switch all the trains from the inside tracks to the outside tracks, and yeah, it was a little confusing for Deb. So we got together as several of us in the club and simplified it a bit, but there's still three trains that run around there at all times. It's a nice layout.
He was more into operations, I guess.
Yeah, he liked to be able to move the trains from the inside to the outside and have every which way going, all the options. Yeah, Deb's really good at doing the fine detail, and this is one of these houses that she's got going on. She has a real knack for making these little houses. So, and just about another 2 miles down the road from Deb is stop number 3. This is the Back in Time Railroad, operated by Pat Waddell.
I'm going to have to get there as well.
Yep. I've heard the rumor, I think, from Pat that this might be her last year running.
Oh, I hate hearing that.
So it's definitely one to get to if you've never been here. There's two small layouts, one with the kind of the memories of old times past, and then she has a gnome garden that trains run through.
I think my wife will enjoy that.
Yeah, it's a nice layout. I think some of us are going over this week just to make sure everything is good to run, the track's level and all that.
And as Jed's talking about this, I'd like to point out, inadvertently he's mentioning some of the benefits of belonging to a club such as the Columbus Club.
Yeah, I want to join just so Jed could come over and help me.
Yeah. Free labor. I would say free labor, but I don't know. It might cost you beer and snacks, maybe. I'm not sure.
And I like the good beer, so.
Hey, I know this layout.
Yeah, this is my favorite. So this is my layout.
Those mountains are looking nice.
Thank you. There's I think probably at least 30 bags of concrete in all those mountains mixed around here. The newest mountain is the big one that's kind of in the center. There used to be a tree underneath that mountain that grew up, but it died last year. So I cut it off about 4 feet above ground level and built a mountain over top of it. My railroad is based on kind of all Swiss narrow gauge railroading. And I've done my best to kind of get little Swiss village things going on. I have a rack railroad, cog railroad that's functioning, that goes up that steep corkscrew there you see in the middle.
Is that a point-to-point, or does that loop?
Yeah, it's a point-to-point.
That's cool.
Now, my main question is: are you going to have the Alphorn players?
Yeah, I expect we'll have a few here this year again. Yep. That they usually show up around 3 to 5 kind of time period.
Jed likes to go all out, Nico.
Cool.
Yep. I go all Switzerland. So
is it live music are you talking about? Or?
Yeah, live music, the Swiss Alphorn, the Ricola, so, but last year when I was in Switzerland, you see my number 615 train that's pulling into the station here. When I was in the San Moritz train station, I had the incredible coincidence of running into the 615 train.
Uh-oh. Is the next photo you being handcuffed and taken away?
No, they invited me up here. It was kind of tough to get me out of there, but
well, that's pretty nice.
I was as giddy as a schoolboy, let's say, when they invited me up there and to get my picture taken. I was so excited. It was pulling the Glacier Express train that day. That was pretty fun.
So is that cab like just all electronic controlled in there then?
Yeah.
By the looks of it?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. The what looks like a steering wheel is actually the throttle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Do you have the one that yodels?
You don't want to hear me yodel.
No, LGB makes the one that yodels as it goes around.
I have heard that one before.
Really? I'm not familiar with that one. I've heard the chicken dance one that.
Well, it's in one of the engines. I believe it's the same. I don't know if it's the 615 or not, but as it goes around, you can make it yodel.
Yeah. Oh. I'm trying to picture which one it is, but yeah, I do remember hearing it.
The guy in my old club, Berger, had it.
Okay, well, these are I've taken out all the electronics and put Rail Pro with battery in all of mine, so I can put whatever I want. I actually recorded one of the train station messages with my iPhone on the speaker on the train, and then transferred it onto the train. So when it pulls into a station, it has a legitimate Swiss message on it. So these are my twin crocodiles. And while I was also in Switzerland, I also got to come face to face with a crocodile.
Oh,
So
Are they still running, or is it
no, they're museum pieces. They might have one or two that they take out on some tourist excursions. This train was definitely not a movable piece. Well, they might shove it around with another train, but it doesn't run anymore.
yeah. There's not any catenary above it either, by the looks of it.
No, it's still up there, but there was nothing inside the cab, and it was kind of tore out.
I see Tom's trying to help you out there, Jed.
For sure, absolutely, absolutely.
I see Tom was doing some work on his layout as well, by the way.
And if anybody has a chicken dance car, John would like a chicken dance car.
And if you sell it to John before I see him over at Kyle's next weekend and he brings it, I don't think I'll lose my mind.
So moving on to another stop in Westerville is the Acorn and Oak Railroad. And he's been on the tour maybe 3 to 4 years now. It's one of the newer layouts we have. And it's I've only seen this one time for a very brief amount of time, and that big tree stump that's in the middle, while there was still a tree attached to it when I was there. But it's very nice. I've seen lots of pictures. He does lots of detail work, and it's an easy stop to get in and out of. I highly recommend it. I believe Bill Logan helped build this railroad as well.
John's bringing his accordion just for you, Andrew.
Well, that I would welcome. I'd like to see him play that.
He is very good at that.
Now, what would be interesting is if he could actually, bring his whole organ there. That'd probably take like a tow motor and a pickup truck.
We when we had our store, one of the events going on in our town, we had John on the porch and he was just playing music.
Oh, wow.
On his keyboard. He's very, very talented musician.
Never mind. Kyle said he's not allowed.
Moving over to Mr. Bob Collins Railroad over in Worthington, stop number 6. Several years ago, well, at least 10 years ago now, by the date stamp on there, you can see that Bob built his railroad the way we all describe we should build our railroad, up about waist high so you don't have to bend over onto the ground.
I mean, I'm liking that height. I mean,
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, you go over there and say, oh, this is so easy to put trains on the track. No.
If it's elevated like that, when, your friend Charles and his brother Mark rear ends his train and they got to put it back on the track, they can, do it from waist height.
Yep.
I know you're watching, Mark.
Yeah, that was fun.
He filled it full of gravel, so nothing really grows in there, not much. Okay. And he says he gets 2 or 3 weeds a year and just pick and none. But as far as I know, he's the only railroad. I think it's in the next picture here, but he has functioning catenary.
I see it. It's right there. You can see it.
Yeah. The one line is right there, and I think the next picture here shows that train. Yeah, on the trolley. He has functioning operational catenary. So if you want to go check that out, stop number 6.
There you go. The yodeling engine is LGB 27422 RHB GE4/4.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say Tim would probably know, but I wasn't going to harass him. But apparently,
that's one of the newer versions of the LGB train. I don't like to spend that much money on those trains.
Well, you don't want to see the crocodile. Tim has that.
I'm sure it's nice. Yeah. I'm sure. I got mine on this side. flashing away in the back. No. All right. Forest Park Garden Railroad. Lisa and Tim Dove operate this.
Oh, I got to make it over there too then.
Yep. This is very close to Alvin Mann's railroad, which I know.
Alvin the man. I got to make sure I visit him too. Jeez. My dance card's getting full.
Tim has been a model railroader basically his whole life. I think he started out with much smaller stuff and then got started in the G scale outdoor gardening. And his wife is a master gardener, and they have truly made a masterpiece with gardening and running trains. And it just flows so nicely through their backyard. And it's no matter what time of year you go, there's always flowers blooming everywhere. It's very, very beautiful. It's one you got to go to.
Mark heard you. Hey now. Was it Mark that hit Charles, or was it Charles that hit Mark? I don't remember.
Charles's caboose came off, and then Mark hit him because he had the Pico Camelback with the.
Oh yeah, and the caboose was like, get away from me.
Yeah, you were having a lot of fun with that. That's what I was looking for. I was going to say he had the Camelback that has this, nice profile on it that scoops the cars right off the track.
Stop number 8 is Alvin Mann. We all know Alvin from the train shows and swap meet. He sells a lot of HO equipment at train shows. He's been on the tour since 2005. Now, interestingly enough, my wife and I on our first year going out on this tour, went to Alvin's the very first day he was open. And basically there was the pond, that tree in the middle, and track. There was all dirt everywhere else. And we're like, well, we'll come back next year and see what this looks like. And he had been up all night long getting track together and getting on the tour, and just barely got it running just in time for that first year. But it was really great to see it, because you see it progress year after year and how everything grows.
Excuses, Mark.
I think we have way too much fun in this hobby sometimes, Jed.
Yeah, we do. Alvin and Bev have a beautifully manicured garden. Definitely a highlight on the tour. A must go to.
It's beautiful.
Always love seeing that Mallet on his layout.
Yep.
Actually, I think it was his fault that I bought one.
These are Craig Big Rigs, yeah. So we all know Dave Bush, the Mad Apple Express.
Is this the 4th version?
I think this is variation 3.
And I'm not making a joke by saying that. Dave's the hardest working guy I know. That, he reworks that piece of land about every year.
Yeah. I think he took a kind of a break this year. He only reworked some of the track work and the track layout just so it ran a little smoother. But yeah, he's had this 2 years in a row now, so it's time for him to tear it up. But it's 5th. He just commented it's his 5th layout. But Dave is he rented an excavator as well and dug out a pond several years ago. Definitely one to go visit. The backyard isn't real large, but he has made use of every square inch. And from here, I think he's just going to go up, kind of like how the Paul Bussey Railroad goes up with, the real high trestles. I think he's looking at doing the same thing. Dave, you got 2 weeks to get that done, so get on it. So you get some wildlife. You can see in the background, he's got bears in his water feature. and this year he's got a new circus in town.
I like Zach's comment there. I can't say it.
Oratory Railroad.
The only reason I didn't highlight it because I didn't know what that means.
Dave, come on over, Jed. 2 weeks of plenty of time. Sure, I'll be there in about an hour when the show is over. So yeah, definitely swing by to see Dave's Railroad. It's a good time. He's got a beautiful, beautiful railroad, and greenery and a pond and everything. It's amazing. The Xenia, Russellville, and Cherry Fork Railroad in Worthington. This is owned by Jim and Lorinda Shell. Jim's been a member for a long time, and actually he used to give presentations at the national conventions on scratch building houses and structures. Many of his structures on his railroad are all scratch built, and they're gorgeous. They're unbelievable detail. I don't have too many pictures, but I believe at least 3 or 4 out of the 5 buildings you can see in the picture here are all scratch built. And he keeps modifying his layout from time to time. And this is of the Xenia train station over in Xenia, Ohio, just south of Springfield. That used to be a major hub where several railroad lines came all together, but now railroads have been turned into the rail-to-trail bike paths. And if you're a biker, you know this railroad station. So.
Ooh, that's a was that Heartland that made that? The
I don't know.
Was that a doodle bug? Is that what they called it? I know Aristo's was a doodle bug.
Could be. I'm not familiar with that.
Might be.
But Jim's been on the tour for many years, and it's definitely worth going over to see his layout. Like they all are. I mean, every single one.
I was just going to say they're all worth going and see.
Yeah, I keep saying it's worth going to, but they're all worth going to. Don't not selling anyone short this year, not at all. So the Marhefkas down in Upper Arlington have a layout that I will describe as a great way to get started in the hobby. And they are just getting started, and they are enthusiastic. I saw them today at today's meeting. They actually bought a car from me at our swap meet meeting, and so they're enthusiastic members, and they love being part of the club. I've never been to this layout to see it firsthand, but I think they've got a little room to expand, and I think there's plans. So I always recommend just get something on the ground to get started. Then you can expand.
No, they look like they have a really nice start going. They got more going on than I did when I put down my first loop.
Yep, they've got there's a tunnel in the back underneath the stump in the back.
And the rocks there.
The rocks, yep. And I think this picture, you can kind of see it off to the right in this picture.
Oh yeah, I see plenty of yard to expand into eventually.
Yeah.
That's what happened with me.
Yeah, you don't have any more backyard to expand.
I got side yard, but that sun that's out the entire day with no shade kind of kills it.
Yeah. Doesn't kill brass. Put down some brass track and go.
Hey, what that rail gets kind of toasty.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to touch it.
Yeah, keep your tongue off of the rail.
Yeah, stop touching the rails, Andrew. I mean, what's wrong with you? I've talked to way too many people that, I got to do this, I got to do that. I'm like, just put a circle on the ground and start.
Yep.
Get it down and start. A lot of people want to plan this extravagant thing, and they get discouraged with it.
Yep.
And they don't get anywhere.
One of my friends started out with a circle around a tree. Literally, he bought a starter set. He had a pool in his backyard, and he went to hobby shop and he saw the LGB train set. He was like, "Oh, that would be nice. When I'm sitting in the pool, I could have the train running around a tree." Before you know it, the train was all over the yard. But it started around as a circle around one tree.
Yep. You got to get started. Got to get started with something. Okay. Kent Clace and his wife Beth have the B&K Railroad down in Grove City. They base it after the Cass. Everyone's familiar with the Cass Railroad.
Yep.
And Kent Scratch built the Cass Company store off of a photograph, and he had to do a little modification, he said, to make it fit in his layout, but he's going all in with lumber and coal, and as he's got it stretched in the backyard, around the side of the house, and into the front yard. And I actually took some video today. I will be planning to do another video that I'll put on the CGRS YouTube channel down the road. I got a lot of projects going on right now, but you got to get that film recorded before you can process it, right? So Ken is also our webmaster. He does a fantastic job.
Yeah, he also likes when I send him the info about the live stream more than 12 hours in advance to put on the website.
Yep. Yep. He's probably watching right now, if I had to guess.
I sent it to him, I think, 5 days in advance. The other show, he was kind of blown away. I tried to send it to him in advance this time, and I happened to look at my email like 2 days before, and it was still sitting in my drafts. I'd never hit send on it.
Yep.
Now, how far is this layout from your layout, Jed?
It's a half an hour drive.
Okay, that ain't bad.
Yep. Like the little evergreens there growing in the back.
Yep.
Nice mix of colors there too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the green, and then what do you call it? Like the blue spruce kind of color there.
Yeah. Little secret. Those are fake.
I was hoping they weren't, but
I know. Yeah, I know. They do look good, but they don't grow. They're perfect, actually. They.
I got nothing wrong with stuff that looks good but doesn't grow.
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes the stuff that grows, you're always hacking it back. Well, you've seen at mine where the sedum just grows over the track.
Oh yeah, that stuff goes crazy.
And I get in there with the hedge trimmers and shop vac and just you cut through it. But it does a good job, and yeah, part of the hobby.
No, my wife likes the plants. She likes that part of the hobby, so I don't think she would go for the fake plants.
Yeah. All right, so stop number 13.
Hey, I remember that layout.
Yes, this is another long time on the tour. Our April meeting has been at this railroad every year for as long as I can remember. In a long time, we go down here every year in April because he has a large garage that we can hang out if the weather is iffy. But if it's a nice day, we can hang outside. And he's always expanding his railroad, making it larger and larger. So you can kind of see there's two people standing about chest deep into the railroad. So what he did there is he actually dug down and kept the railroad at ground level. So instead of building the railroad up, with a raised bed, he dug down and then, put on the supporting wall so it didn't cave in. But he's done.
He has a pond in the front here and then another pond in the back. Is that
yes.
two separate ponds going on?
Two separate ponds. I believe they do feed back and forth between each other.
Okay.
But he collects all the water off of the roof of his garage, and that goes into the pond. And yeah, he bought a backhoe that needed some repair, and was a truck repairman over the years, and very adventurous guy that likes to fix and meddle with things. And he fixed the backhoe and then dug a pond for himself. So yes, and he does swim in the ponds.
And Mikey said they do feed via stream. So I guess they're connected by a stream.
Oh.
I don't think he has any freshwater stream. I think they're just connected between the two ponds via.
Yeah, that's what I think he meant. They're connected by the stream.
I had to look back through my videos. That was 2016. I was at that layout.
Okay.
I was blown away by the fact the waterfall was coming off the roof of the storage building.
Yeah. Yep, and his wife loves the egg liner, so they have a big egg liner train.
Larry, behave yourself.
One of the cool features he has, so the trains run through the side shed that he has for his trains. They run through here every lap. So he can just drive them in, shut it off, and close the doors, and he's done. This is a very cool feature that he's got built on. And he's actually just off to the right. There's even another building that he can push all of his freight cars in. So they just go into like a box that's on the side of the shed because he just kept getting longer and longer trains had it on. So he just built a box off to the side so he can push the trains, the box cars or, the freight cars, let's say, into that storage area off to the side. But yeah, he loves running the long trains and very interesting guy. Absolutely. Another must-see stop.
You got me looking now because I swear I do got a ton of pictures from that layout. Okay.
I'm doing the same thing with my layout because I like to be able to flip a switch and run a train.
Yep. Yeah, and that shed that we're looking at here, that's a much larger table than it looks in this photograph. Just the proportion doesn't do it justice. Seeing it in person, it's much larger.
I was going to say it's got to be at least 10 feet deep.
I was gonna say I can if I find it here.
10, 12 feet.
You got a picture?
Yeah, give me 1 second here. I just have to share my screen with it. Let's see. Let's see. So that was a picture from inside.
Well, that's pretty clean.
Yeah. Remember, this was 2016. You probably had less stuff.
Right.
And then, yeah, the opening to the right, that green cast you're seeing is the roofing material, the sunlight coming through. Let me see if I can find the picture of what that looks like outside.
Corrugated roofing or something on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the green fiberglass corrugated. Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Probably the quickest I've ever found a picture. There you go.
Ah, yeah.
So that is the
Car storage.
car storage, and of course the tracks to the right are the tracks that pass through on each loop that you were talking about.
Yep, the main line. Yep.
But that's the first time I ever saw that type of storage setup before. I was rather amazed by that. Now I've seen a lot of people, including our friend Stephen Barrier or Barrier, depending on whether you're Nico or Andrew, has 2 or 3 of them now.
What was his name? Noel Arnold had a bunch of those up in New York. Racomacon Railroad.
Ah.
All his cars would stay out in those sheds, and he had like 3 or 4 of them on his layout.
Ah, okay.
Turk said the that he saw the layouts and they were fantastic.
Oh, and Zach just mentioned about he has hundreds of trestle bins, and that's absolutely true. He has his share of trestle bins. Absolutely.
And yes, I am coming out of the shed now instead of the basement because I have no basement. I have a crawl space.
Crawl space. That's probably tall enough for trains, right?
It is if you want to crawl in there, but I really don't want to crawl in there.
So I've got 2 stops left on our tour. If you, and I apologize for the low graphic quality of the next couple of pictures here, but you'll get the idea.
Before we go into the next one, do you want to do one of the giveaways?
Yeah.
Let's start a giveaway. It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, give me one moment here. I was just getting ready to click through that before you mentioned it.
Sure you were. I believe you.
In fact, you could see my screen. You'd see I was working on it.
Uh-huh.
But you kind of ran me off. So if Jed wants to carry on for a moment there while I'm doing this, you can.
Okay, right. We'll talk about one more stop here. Stop number 14 is Inniswood Metro Gardens. This is a Columbus public park, and they run these trains every weekend, I believe from maybe like noon to 5 o'clock every weekend through the summer. This Metro Park is a spectacular feat of engineered gardening and engineered nature. Now, the Garden Railroad doesn't run through this part of the park. It's off. It's kind of off to the left from this picture, but it runs behind the main office building, and is about a 2-mile walk from my house down to this park. My wife walks down here as often as she can, which probably 2 or 3 times a week walks down to this park, and it's a beautiful park to go wander through. But they have, and I'm sorry for the quality of the pictures here. They were the best I could find off of Facebook, and I was hoping for some other pictures, but sorry, this is what we got to work with tonight. But you should go check it out. Absolutely.
Very nice. Steve Dom says Westerville sure has changed in 62 years.
Yep. Steve, you used to live here. It's booming. This town is booming. And it's no longer a dry town either. It's crazy when they started serving alcohol in Westerville. This just picked up.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful bridge.
Yes, it is.
This is a public one again?
Yeah, this is at Easton Town Center over on the east side of Columbus.
Do they still have the dine-in movie theater over there?
Yes, they do.
Yep. I highly recommend it. Like, you go and sit down, have a call button, they come over, you got like a full menu at a restaurant, desserts, phenomenal. Anyway.
So this is a railroad, I forget which variation they're on. Over the years, they've rebuilt this several times. And they, Bill Logan built this version of it at least 10 to 13, 14 years ago, and it's been in the same place. I think they just repowder coated that bridge, and it's looking really good right now.
It's beautiful.
There are 3 lines, but these trains run 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. From the mileage that they've calculated, I believe Bill said within a year's time, a train will actually run all the way to the moon and back or something. It's a crazy number, but he's always putting new motor blocks every 3 months. They like changing the oil in your car, new motor block into it, and just new wheel. That just, I know some longevity testing gets done on these tracks. Just to see how long it will last.
Looks like it's a stainless steel rail.
Yes. Yep. And track power. And on occasion, you do see a train will blow off the track, but they've got maintenance people that come over and put them back on. And the guy who's like the executive director of the whole park, his office building is within eyesight, kind of up. Let's see, up in the corner there. He can look down on this Garden Railroad from his office, so that's why it's in this location. I believe I have a video, kind of like a behind the scenes video on the CGRS YouTube channel.
Ah, okay. Anybody that's wondering, I do have the CGRS website and YouTube channel linked in the description of the video on the website, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yep. Yeah, so I haven't really posted any new videos on that channel in about a year now. It's just you get busy, and you know how it is, Andrew, putting out videos. You have tons of video and no time to edit.
I just keep wondering when you're going to start doing your live stream again.
Oh, here I am. We're gonna leave it to the professionals. You guys got this.
I say, wait, where are the professionals at?
We have those.
So during football season, they put the opposing team for the OSU Buckeyes are playing on the same flat car. I don't know what looks like. Maybe this is before the Rose Bowl or something. It's kind of hard to tell, but whoever they're playing against, Michigan or whatever, they'll have the two helmets side by side. And Bill says it's pretty surprising. Very often they'll find the Michigan helmet will have been pegged by a small stone or something and knocked off the off the train. And this is a picture of that same bridge decorated up at Christmas time. The town square puts up the big Christmas tree in the background. You can see it. It's a very nice place to go shopping if you're in Columbus, and go blue. I'm not from Columbus, so I don't really, I've become a Buckeye fan just because I've lived here for almost 30 years, but I don't. It's fine. So why don't we go ahead with that giveaway, because it's a good stopping point. We got one more set of videos and photos to go through here, but
all right. Well, our first giveaway for the evening, because we'll have another one after this, is a 12-pack of the Split Jaw Code 332 rail clamps. The brass ones, and the winner can select whether they want direct to rail or over the joiner clamps. If you would like to enter to win those, all you have to do is enter. Oh, nice, screwed it up. Imagine that. One too many hashtags. Let's try it. All you got to do is enter hashtag SplitJaw in the live chat, either on Facebook or YouTube. And the reason why I specify that is the stream does get embedded on different sites and pages and stuff that have their own chat. If you put the hashtag into one of those, that's not going to work. If you're on our website doing it, the live chat that's embedded is from YouTube. If you're on Facebook, obviously you're good. So I just don't want anybody going, hey, I entered, but, well, you got to, unfortunately, I can't control the chat for every destination in the world.
Why not?
Unfortunately.
Slacker.
I know. It's terrible. So we'll let that run for a moment or so there to let people enter in for that.
Paul Jackson, you put a space in between your hashtag and your split jaw.
No, he did it right. You're thinking of Chuck. No, not Chuck. Who did?
No, I said Paul Jackson.
He put a space. Oh, okay. I see now.
You see now that you corrected me and you were wrong? Say you were wrong.
Sorry for calling you out, Chuck. You did it right.
No, it was Paul. See, it says space.
Yeah, that's why I said sorry for calling Chuck out. He was right.
Okay. So, Paul, you want to re-enter if you want to win. or at least try.
Although I give bonus points to our friend Carrie from the Infinity Hobbies channel.
Nico's custom GP40.
Yeah.
Which custom GP40 do I have?
I don't know, but if Carrie wins, I think you're going to have to give it to him now.
Okay. There you go, Paul. All right, let's move on.
All right.
So,
Oh wait, it's an aerial photo of your layout. I just realized that.
yeah, I got up on a ladder and took this one. No. A couple of weeks ago, I was on there was a Westerville garden tour.
Oh, yeah. You had a few people, didn't you?
Yeah. And I had 403 people counted through my backyard that day.
Wow.
And it was the craziest day of running trains, and trains ran perfectly thanks to my split jaw rail joiners and everything else running perfectly. I could run. I mean, it ran. The only issue I had was human error of my own doing, where I forgot to throw a switch back and bam, that happens. But
that happens.
Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of see the overhead view and how dry it is in our backyards. It is quite crispy. We haven't had much rain here this summer. But
I'm always amazed that anytime I had an open house, like I would be out there 2 hours, 3 hours before people start showing up. Trains are running perfectly fine, no issues. And as soon as like the first 3 people show up, all of a sudden like derailments and things start overloading.
Yep.
Thanks for helping us out there, Canadian Railroads.
So I hope people can come on down on September 8th between 1 and 5 p.m. And I will say, but wait, there's more. I'm going to say we're going to have an after party, and it's for Columbus Garden Railway Society members and invited guests. And I will invite you folks that are watching the show. And also the Florida Garden Railway Society is coming up to visit. I think there's 20 members that are taking a bus trip, and they're going to be going on our tour.
Oh, nice.
So they're going to go to Entertainment Junction on maybe Friday or Saturday, and they're going to stop down at Brian and Connie Spangler's house on Saturday to see their railroad on the way up to Columbus, and they'll hit several of the layouts on the north side here.
Which a note to folks that if you haven't been or you want to go again to Entertainment, you best plan your trip now, because end of the year they're closing up.
Yep. Yeah, the latest rumors is there is no buyer that wants to run the trains. There's a buyer that wants to buy the property and level it and build a warehouse or something. So
yeah,
maybe Zach has some insight on that. I see Zach's on the
I
video.
figured Zach could have like a GoFundMe going to buy it.
Hey, we are just one lottery ticket away from moving that up to Columbus is all I gotta say. So this after party is going to be at the brand new Northland Scenic Railway. You ask, what is that? I haven't heard of that. So our friend Bill Logan, several years ago, bought the Northland Swim Club pool. It was a city pool that was built back in the 60s. It's an Olympic-sized pool, and the whole facility, the 5 acres of property that came along with it, with the intention of putting a ride-on railroad with it. And it started very slowly. We've been working on it a little over, I think, 2 years now. And we are about 50 feet away from having it a complete loop. But we can't do that last 50 feet because it goes across the driveway where cars enter the parking lot for the pool. So we're so close, but we're so far away. But it's going to be about 3/4 of a mile around the main loop of the property. and we're all learning how 7.5-inch gauge works, and we've made our share of mistakes, but the AccuTie makes a fantastic product. That's all blown injection molded plastic ties that are gauged for, well, you can buy it for 7.25 if you're in the Northeast, or 7.5 here in the rest of the United States. And but it's a long process. So we started with a sod cutter and cut into the sod and made a path around the outside of the property.
Right away. He made it right away.
People that could have used that
right away. Yes. Yeah. So, and then you put down a layer of gravel and making progress. This is last fall. So we have a new storage shed located now to the left of the photograph. And there's a gate kind of where it looks like it dead ends. We have a gate there now that we can open up and go through. And one important lesson, I will say, if anybody is laying down 7.5-inch track in their backyard, I know that's like the next stage after G scale. You're tired of G scale and you move on to the next bigger size trains.
I don't know. I feel tired thinking about laying 7.5-inch gauge track.
But and this actually works really well in G scale too. But staggering where you have your joiners, your joints, because as you go around the corner, if you have your joints straight across from each other, it makes an easy pinch point where it wants to curve really sharp. But if you offset those by 5 feet, these are 10-foot long sections, then you're offsetting where that potential of a pinch point can happen. And that was an important lesson we learned fairly early on. This is actually one of our first curves. So when I took this picture, we hadn't learned that lesson yet. So we've gone back and redone and staggered the joints in places.
Well, these trains are heavy, and they, you need support under the joints.
I helped someone re-rail their 7.5-inch gauge boxcar a couple times the other weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We have at the club I'm a part of is a -9.
That's got to have some weight.
Yeah, that is very fun to re-rail, and we have a re-railer. That's one thing you should get if you have it.
Yeah, I've seen one on YouTube that looks really nice. I think we can copy. And
it's like a plate, and you just run over it, re-rails it. But sometimes that doesn't work, and we have 2 bottle jacks, one on each side, and then it has like rollers. There's like a T-frame and rollers, and we jack up the whole engine and slide it over, put it back on the tracks.
Nice. Yeah, we've I don't have any pictures of it, but we have Craig Big Rig made it up, but it kind of hooks underneath the front and rear coupler, kind of the bumper there on the front and back, and we can pick it up. 4 guys can pick it up, like, as he calls it, Cleopatra style, and carry it around. So speaking of Craig Big Rig, one of the biggest advances we had was Craig coming over with his Kubota with the front loader and being able to move gravel very easily, because we were doing this with a wheelbarrow, more or less. And
I'm tired thinking about doing that with a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, it was a ton of work.
Zachary said that it's sold, and as of yet, there's no buyers for the contents.
That is correct.
So I guess the property is sold.
Well, get down there and visit that place. Absolutely got to do that. And I got to find time this fall, get down there. So Craig made great advances because we could just drag that bucket along the ground and pick up sod, and boy, it just made life real easy. We made good progress. So we have I think we're going to have 4 passing sightings throughout the loop that we have, just so when we have trains going in opposite directions, we can make use of going in opposite directions and not having too much of a jam. And so the engine that's on here, this is thanks to my dad back in New York, saw this heading to the scrapyard, and it didn't have the body on it, but he saw it and he was like, God, that looks like a train. Well, my son's in the trains. I'll see if he wants it. And he calls me up, and he didn't even know I was working on this project yet. And sure enough, it was a 7.5-inch gauge train that was heading to the junkyard. And he pulled it out for $200 to the junkyard. Dad brought it home. Has a 6-horsepower Honda engine on it. All the mechanism and a little cleaning up and a few parts. We got it running. And last winter, Craig Bigrig and I worked on making a body. I'll say Craig did a lot of fabrication on that. He did a fantastic job. Just a little switcher engine on it. And so that's our first engine we've got running. Bill has 2 engines. Both are really close to working, but they just need a little bit of work to get them running. And I think we'll have them running before our little open house. So, and here's Bill driving the train.
I'm used to always seeing him with his brimmed hat on.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing him hatless.
So this is one of our newer sheds. That's going to be a car storage. We don't have all of the sidings lined in yet, all the switches, so we can park all the trains in, but that's coming. And just yesterday, we brought over 6 freight cars that Bill had made 7 or 8 years ago, and they've been sitting in his backyard all that time. And I think his wife is thrilled now to have these out of the backyard and moved over to the train yard. So they were fairly heavy, but 2 guys could pick it up struggling. And but they rolled around just fine. So and just like in G scale, the 7.5-inch gauge train stuff comes in different scale sizes as well. And please don't blast me here. I don't know all of them. I believe there's like 1.5-inch and 2-inch scale. Yep. And what I have is 1.5-inch, and what Bill has is the 2-inch. So our stuff isn't really compatible looking. You know, my train looks really tiny next to his stuff, but it's what we got. Mark, to answer your question, not exactly open to the public. The pool is open to the public. You can go over there and go swimming for another week. The pool will be open. They're open till Labor Day. Eventually, the plan will be that we will open up for public rides maybe once a month. But for the most part, we're going to just use this and enjoy it ourselves, and hopefully get a few other guys with some equipment and just keep adding on. Bill's also trying to buy the property next door to it, which would double the amount of property we would have to play with.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a former Catholic school in a church that has a pretty good size, a couple of soccer fields, but they've closed the church and the school, and the property is still getting mowed and maintained, but nobody's there. So he's trying to pick that up. Probably shouldn't mention that because they'll jack the price up now, right?
Good job, Ken. Good job.
Nice.
You want to do the drawing?
Yes, we can do that real quick. Did you have any other pictures after this one, Judd?
That is the last picture. So.
Okay. All right. So just as a reminder to everybody, what our giveaways for is a 12-pack of the split jaw brass rail clamps, either direct to rail or over the joiner. It is your choice. So let me share the right window here now. Apparently I got to stop that. Now I can share the right window. Aha. Right one? I got the right one. All right. So let's see who our lucky winner is going to be.
It's going to be
Not
me.
Nico, not Jed, because he's he can't enter either.
Oh, I'm not supposed to enter?
No, you're good. I'm just giving you a hard time.
My cat jumped on the computer. Sorry.
Paul Jackson is our lucky winner.
See, I told you. Helped him out.
Huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what we're all about, is helping out.
You owe me 6 rail clamps, Paul.
So all you got to do, Paul, is shoot us an email, info@largescaletrains.com, with your name, mailing address, and then let us know if you want the direct to rail or over the joiner clamps. And I will forward that off to our friend David at Splitjaw, and he'll get those out to you. And of course, don't run away, folks, because we will have another giveaway before we end the show here. I think Nico might have a 4-track product, 4-track RR product that he's giving away. So we'll have to wait and see.
And it's your choice. Another choice.
Ooh, another choice. So does that mean if Kerry wins, he can choose the custom 4-track GP40?
Sure, I'll 3D print one that big.
Custom
3D printed.
So on your layout, Jed, have you expanded it any more this year? I know when I was down, was it last year's tour or the year before that you expanded it up into the corner of the yard?
Yeah, no new expansions. I did adjust so I had a siding that I could have passenger service pick up kind of and rerouted my back and forth train a little bit. But no, I'm just watching the plants grow this year and grew a new mountain where that tree was. That was a lot of work to get that. And of course, I had to do it when it was 95 degrees outside and stifling hot.
It's the best time to do it.
That's the way it works. You just gotta ask Cody when I work on my layout. It could be like nice, cool 73 all week. Saturday, it's like 98, 85% humidity.
Yeah, well, we had our train meeting today down at Kent Clace's house, and it's our annual swap meeting. It's been beautiful all week here. And yesterday it started to get a little warm, but today it was 95 degrees and it was stifling. And it was one of our lower attended meetings we've had. And unfortunately, we didn't have all that much on the swap meet tables either. But there still was some good deals to be had. But unfortunately, I think the heat kept people away. Yeah. Yeah, of course, it's always very hot to. What am I trying to say? It was hot when I was working on that mountain this year, and there's probably just as much water as there was sweat into that concrete mix. I mixed it by hand too. Thank you.
It's blood, sweat, and tears, right?
Yeah, and a little bit of blood. Yeah, or yeah, you did say blood. Yeah,
blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
That's usually how I work on things. I'm usually bleeding, sweating, and crying all at the same time.
Yeah, it's not a real job unless you bleed.
Yep.
I mixed up some concrete the other weekend, but it was to fill in an access hole that a groundhog keeps opening back up under my fence to get under my shed. Mm-hmm. I kept putting rocks in and he kept digging them out, so I dumped a sack of Quickcrete in there and called it a day.
Yeah.
Now, it's just a hole underneath the fence in case anybody's worried. I didn't fill in a groundhog hole with concrete and trap him in, or although I'm sure the groundhog would dig his way out. He seems to be rather ingenuitive.
Just goes deeper. Yep.
He's just going to dig on the side.
Well, I figure as he digs on the side of it, I'll dump some more. So rather than me having to dig out underneath the fence and fill it all in, I'll let him do the work and fill it in as he goes.
Yeah. If I could give one tip that I've learned, you Andrew, you've seen I've got a fairly large back deck, and for years I've had groundhogs or skunks and rabbits and all sorts of animals living underneath there. And about 2 years ago, I just tried taking an old clock radio, finding any old radio station. It doesn't have to be super loud, but I turn it upside down so it's facing the speaker down, and I put a bucket on top of that, and it just drives the animals nuts. and that keeps them away. I've had no problems with any animals under my deck since I started doing that.
Interesting.
Yep.
Hmm.
But if you do need to trap a groundhog and you got a live trap, I got a suggestion from one of our club members to use cantaloupe rinds. And
Do you have a trap?
I trapped for my neighbor. She had a groundhog underneath her railroad, and the groundhog would find its way into my railroad, of course. But so I trapped it in her yard with cantaloupe rinds, and it worked right away. We were trying everything to trap it, but cantaloupe worked real well.
My
Try
parents
spraying white
would
vinegar.
spray paint their butt, hit them with like a dot of like pink or something, so that
Okay.
and then they would bring it somewhere and move it, back up in the woods. And they would put a dot on it to see if it came back.
You got to move them a long ways.
Yeah.
4 or 5 miles at least.
Every time I think I've gotten rid of this one, like I go out and religiously check, see if he's tunneled back underneath my shed or anything. I hadn't seen nothing for probably about 2-3 months this time. I thought, all right, gone. Didn't look for about a week, having to wander around the back of the shed because I was looking at some other stuff, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Back again.
Yeah. Yeah, I see John Molesworth is saying he has a 22. Yeah, I've heard comments like, they die from lead poisoning at my house, right?
Let's see.
I see John is asking what to do for skunks. The skunks especially
stay
don't
away.
like the music. But if I've heard putting a strobe light underneath your porch, the strobe, the flashing, they don't like the light show.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a headache thinking about strobe lights. Jeez. I was going to say I did have a few pictures I can show from Jonathan Straczynski's open house that was the other weekend.
Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that? Okay, we won't show it then.
We all watch his YouTube videos, and I can't wait to see that sometime.
I tell you what, he put a ton of work into it in a very short amount of time to get it to the level where it was at.
Well, he's a school teacher, a shop teacher, right?
So
he has his summers available.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it's like. I think it's like industrial trades or something like that he teaches.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not industrial. I'm getting that wrong. He could correct me, but I believe he's having family night with his family tonight. So you don't see him in the chat that often. He's making the right choice, spending time with his family. Although I know there are several of you out there in the audience that have told me that, your family or spouse knows that when it's 7:00 on Sunday, they just leave you alone. You turn the TV on and you sit down and they go, "Oh, you're watching your show."
Right. Yeah. I've been, my wife has left the room.
Let's see. Here we go. So I do have to say Jonathan does get creative at times with the things on his layout. I did find it entertaining that he had the dinosaurs and the hoppers with the fake people. Let's specify that they're fake people, fake dinosaurs.
Is that ketchup that's coming out?
I'm pretty sure that's ketchup.
Yeah. The people aren't even G scale. I mean, this is just totally wrong.
They're little kids. Little kids, Nico.
Oh.
That's even worse.
Yeah, see little Tommy there getting eaten. Yeah.
Yeah. You always got that kid that they don't want a dog, they want a dinosaur. This is what happens.
They grow up so fast. And then they eat you.
But yeah, this is the back part of his layout, and this is all newly filled in. He moved a lot of materials in a short amount of time.
How long is that bridge? That looks like
That is a
piece
what
of
do I want?
scaffolding.
Yeah. It was a scaffolding, and I think it had gotten dropped, and it got a little bit of a tweak or something in it. And he set it there temporarily at the time as a bridge, and everybody kept telling him that he should leave it. So he poured some abutments and made it a permanent fixture.
It is definitely cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
And Chuck saying that Jonathan's layout's fantastic, but the front line's a dead line. It never runs out there anymore. But that's not 100% true. We did run some stuff around the front, but he's actually got plans to revitalize the section that runs around the front of his house and double track it. So that should be...
I was going to say, didn't you guys run it when he had
Yeah.
the house?
But usually when Jonathan's running himself, you know, if you keep the trains within the site where you can see, when you go around the front of the house and it goes under the porch, I mean, it's kind of nice to keep it where you can see everything.
Yeah.
Mark's got the right ideal, or, well, at least for some people, he has the right ideal. I want to tell everybody should have that ideal. No family equals more trains plus a lot more disposable income and space for trains. Hashtag bachelor pad.
Do you want to do the other giveaway? I mean, we got 18 minutes.
Yeah, I'll get it queued up here in a moment. Let's see. Made me lose where I was at. Actually, I think that's Jonathan hovering in the background, perhaps. Well, you know what? No, wait, hang on a minute. I think that's Stephen Barrier or Barrier, depending on who you are. And if your name's Colin Camarillo, look away. I know you don't like UP Patch Southern Pacific stuff. Yeah, so underneath that footbridge that you see is where the tractor's a switch that goes off. That's where it goes underneath Jonathan's fence and goes out around the front of the house. I don't think I have any. Actually, you know what? I do have a couple pictures around the front, but I don't think they really give you the ideal that it's around the front. This is actually on the front side of the house. This is where it comes out the other side. His stairs to the front porch are to the right, so the train actually goes under the porch, around the back, and back out the other side. But I believe he intends to double track where you see this right now. Okay, I don't know what hashtag Larry's putting in there, but okay.
I don't know.
This is actually the front part of the layout as well. The track,
not a Yeti.
the track you see behind this is actually is what is going to be revitalized for a double track, because that track right now actually has like some 4-foot curves and stuff on it that you can't run a whole lot on. It was actually kind of nice to see too. There were a couple of people that came over from PA for Jonathan's open house as well. It was a good time. Jonathan behaved himself. I know it's hard to believe, everybody.
I found Jonathan's videos very, very helpful. The tutorials he did on installing RailPro into a train. He did them maybe about a year ago and referred to them quite a bit.
Yeah, now you got me thinking here. Trying to think. Jonathan the fish guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody goes, why are you the fish guy? Because was really big into fish.
Aquariums.
Aquariums?
Yes.
Or Aquarius. That's a song, I think.
Well,
For the life of me, I can't find his channel now as I try to search for it.
Well, we'll all just sit here and watch you search for it.
That's all right.
It makes for good TV.
Hey, there's the picture I wanted to get to. So, everybody could see a set of FAs sitting on Jonathan's layout.
Whose were those?
Oh, boy, I'm going to get Tom's last name wrong now. I can't think of Tom's last name at the moment. He lives over near Burdenhand, PA. He brought those over, which as they ran around the front of the layout in the distance, I heard Jonathan say, FAs, where's my, and I'm not going to say the word. because he wanted to shoot them. I don't think. There we go. Thank you, Tim. Tom, I'm going to say his last name wrong. Soku.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
And you bust my chops about barrier.
see, you got it right though. You didn't call him Barry A this time.
I called him Barrier once.
All right, so I believe that is the last picture I had in there. So, what do you have for a giveaway, Nico?
Nothing for you now.
Oh, okay. Be that way.
So, what we have is we have a choice of lowering bolsters. You get your choice of streamliners, or the 2-bay hoppers, or the freight bolsters, or the FAs. Your choice.
Your choice.
So, whoever wins gets a choice. You're not stuck with what I want to give you. You get to choose what you would like.
Awesome. And if you'd like to enter that giveaway, it's hashtag 4TrackRR.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew you were going to be on me if I wasn't ready for that. Which I did manage to lower one of my FAs with your lowering kit the other weekend. I got to get back at that. Which the FAs that were on the screen, those were actually the
last run.
One of the last runs of them, yeah, that were actually lowered.
Yep.
Are you able to the two FAs next to each other make that bigger, Nico?
I don't know. Can I? If I go to nope. There we go. Can I click on that?
There we go. That's better. Although it's a little bit deceiving since they're not both the same one. The black pilot on the Reading one kind of masks the fact that it's sitting higher.
Well, you can see kind of the distance between the railhead and the pilot. So you're lowering it. It says it right there. Lowers about 3/8 of an inch. That's quite a distance.
Yeah. So what you got? The lowering kit for that. You got the 2-bay covered hoppers, and then the other lowering kit will do just about any of the 40-foot cars, right?
Any of the 40-foot freight cars.
Now,
this one, the lowering bolster, which is just the bolster alone, or the bolster with the KD pad, will do any of their 40-foot freight cars because they all use the same.
That includes the gondola, right? But I don't know that actually needs lowered.
Well, yeah, I put them on it when I get them.
Okay.
Yep, the gondola, the box cars. What else did they have? I mean, the piggyback.
Really, the piggyback? I thought that was a different frame underneath
Nope,
that.
that's underneath that is all the same chassis. They based all those cars off of the same chassis to save, money. Stock cars.
Oh, yeah. Now, I don't think I got one sitting on the shelf in front of me or behind me. The 40-foot plug doors that they made, I don't think you want to lower those. Those were already kind of.
Those were right.
Came on the
right
newer chassis, right? Yeah.
Yeah. This is more the older stuff, the REA, the first run aristo-craft. Because then eventually they actually added the KD pad and lowered them.
Well, they kind of did it in two phases because the first round they lowered them, but they didn't add a KD pad from what I remember. Because that I do have one sitting here somewhere. Jed doesn't have to worry about any of this.
Spoken loop all the way.
He likes those European.
So let's see. Do you have anything new that you're working on, Nico? Like a new product that you don't have ready yet that you can tell us about?
Well, the next thing I'm working on for Cody is the AML GP60 sunshades.
Okay, yeah.
That's the next thing down the line. And then I'm going to start working on some streamliner bolster parts.
Streamliner bolster parts. So you already make those?
Well, I make the lowering bolster, but I'm sorry, not streamliner bolster, streamliner truck parts.
Oh, okay.
So I've had somebody contact me looking for parts for that. So I'm going to start manufacturing some of the replacement parts. Anybody that breaks anything on there. But as you know, as always, if you need a part, let me know. And if it's something I think I would, would sell, or I'll make it.
Kind of thing you need made, Jed?
I do. I was just going to say, I'm probably going to send you some doors that I need to get recreated on some of the European passenger doors off the LGB trains. Seem to be awfully fragile and disappear when you're trying to buy them.
Yeah.
So, I'll send you a door or two to take a look at, see if you can recreate it.
Yeah, I can take a look at it. I was thinking of doing, I don't know if you can see here. Let me get rid of this. So I've been asked for this part, if you know what that is.
No, I don't.
So
remember
the Garden Metal Models bridges.
Okay.
These are the hooks for the side rails.
Oh, okay.
So I've been asked for these. So I was thinking of making these next. It's another thing. They just clip on. You can see it's got the two hooks here.
Yep.
It's a flexible part, and you just snap it on.
Nice.
So for anybody that broke one of those, I was thinking of doing those. And then somebody had asked me for Malay parts, the headlights, the marker lights, with the number boards. And so I just got to figure out how to do the actual clear number board part. Like making the housing is easy, but making the clear number boards is the part I got to figure out.
That's fun. So many aspects to this hobby that are so interesting. I mean, beyond the running trains, it's figuring out 3D printing and all the different design programs that are out there. And
Luckily, I guess I'm an engineer by trade, so it's what I do.
Nico's the guy that everybody down the line complains about, because he doesn't have to build it. It's good.
Well, I have to do both. So
yeah.
What is that? How hard is it to make the steps for the GP38s? I believe the GP38s are part of the chassis.
No, the steps, like the side steps, you can get those. Fun note: when you do get them, don't break the new ones you get, because you'll be ordering them again.
Oh, is that they're the ones with the two little pins in the back?
Yeah, two little pins. Yeah, so if you've broken them off in there, get yourself a small little pin vise and some number drill bits so you can.
I usually don't make parts that are still available. So like USA Trains has parts available. I don't see really, unless I can make it better somehow, I don't see a need for me to make a part that's still available. Like the -9 steps.
Yeah, I got some of those.
They're not available. The SD45 and GP40 steps, obviously, they're not available. So I did those. But, when it comes to something that USA Trains is going to have in stock, like I know they're not doing the NW2s right now, and they're not planning on doing them for a while. And people ask me for the smokestacks, because I guess that's just a random part that always gets knocked off, and they're missing.
I didn't need -9 steps until the second time I ran mine, and I split a switch, and it spread the section where the steps are at, and two of them fell out of there. Yep. They're in the ballast somewhere out there.
You'll find them eventually.
I'll probably find them before we find Cody's sunshade.
Yep. Yeah, that's the other. I mean, that's why I kind of look at parts that you can't readily get, because when they're injection molded, they're cheap. It's they could produce millions of them within a couple hours. Where I'm 3D printing it, something like this, you're looking at 3-4 hours of printing, and I get like 4 or 5 of them out of it.
Well, don't you have to design that from scratch in a some sort of a CAD program?
Yeah. I mean, I basically took off the dimensions of this. This is the aristo-craft. The only thing I changed was, I don't know. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See, it's got that fork.
Yeah.
That's where it mounted, and that's where they always broke.
Ah.
I got rid of the fork.
Ah.
It's solid.
Oh. Yep.
So it's more rugged, and I actually made that part thicker.
Yeah. So not only the time of printing, you have the time of designing it in CAD as well.
Right, but that's going to be spread over my sales.
Yeah. Hopefully you sell thousands of them, so you can make that.
The air pump. This part, John. I believe these are 16.
And those go on the
Mikado and the Pacific.
That's not the same as the Malay's got that whole different setup on it.
Yes, that's a totally different setup. So, yeah, I mean, John, let me know if you need one. I'll bring anything up when we see you at Kyle's. So, anybody else? If you're going to RLDs, I could bring stuff to RLDs. I could bring stuff to Kyle's. I'll be up there. So, if you need anything and you want to save on shipping, let me know.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few times, not necessarily with you, but with some other people where I've seen stuff pass through like 4 or 5 different people to avoid shipping, of hand it off to this guy, to that person, and I'm going to meet this guy over here in a couple months, and I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
That happens. You helped me with one of those that I gave to you, and sometimes it doesn't always go smoothly, but
yeah, I think I got a car for Larry Otis down in Cincinnati Entertainment and made its way back up to Massachusetts to him. Let's see here.
Is that the part you're asking about, John?
The steam water heater?
Yeah.
Talking about? All right.
I have that too. I'm actually doing a custom one for a guy now with the blue comment on the front here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, we're going to do our run. We got one.
I know you're going to be saying something to me here. We got like under a minute left before it hits 9 o'clock.
Yes, because I turned it at 10 o'clock.
So let's see who our lucky winner is going to be.
It's going to be me.
You can't win your own giveaway. Oh, wait, I thought that was Nico. You guys kind of have the same profile.
Hey, Mark.
Mark Bartle. Well, Mark, I think you know how to get a hold of Nico. And you know how to get a hold of me.
4trackrr@gmail.com.
Yeah, I should have that on here.
You should, but you don't.
Oh, no, I have it. I just don't have it yet. There it is. I actually have those categorized, so I have them to put up when we need them. So all you got to do, Mark, is pick what you want and let Nico know.
Yes, sir. We'll take care of it.
So anything else that you needed to leave us with, Jed?
No, September 8th, 1 to 5 p.m. Come on out.
And
rain or shine. Rain or shine.
If you head on
more shine than rain.
over on the club website, they can download a brochure in that, correct?
Right. thecgrs.org. Don't go to .com. Don't do it. Trust me. .org. thecgrs.org.
That sounds like my old website.
CGRS. Is that right at the bottom, Jed?
Yes.
Your old website actually just goes to a landing page now, Nico.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I think they finally shut down the the redirect on that. There's a lesson you ever learn, folks. Don't let your domain lapse, because it could get redirected to some interesting places. We'll just leave it at that.
Yes.
I didn't know Nico sold that kind of stuff.
Hey, gotta make a dollar somehow.
So,
but yeah, starting probably sometime next week, you'll be able to download the full directions, addresses, and you'll be able to read it on your phone. I think we'll have, you can click on the map and it will give you the directions through Google Maps. So you can go from one house to the other and just take me here, take me there, and Google will take you there.
I wish I was able to join, because I would like to see all the layouts.
Well, if you find yourself in Central Ohio, just get a hold of us. We'll give you a mini tour.
Yeah. Actually, well, when I come out to see Andrew, I usually.
you got about a 3-hour drive.
Almost 3 hours to
Get down to where Jed's at.
house. Yeah.
But so our next regularly scheduled live stream will be on October 27th. Next month, the last Sunday is September 29th. Hopefully we'll both be back home by that time already. I know you got a pretty good drive back from RLD on that day.
Yes.
Mine's at least. My drive is either about 8 hours or 11, depending on whether I fall asleep and let Cody drive, because somehow I fall asleep with 6 hours to go, and then I wake up and he tells me I've been asleep for 3 hours, and we still got 6 hours to go. He's going to blame the GPS. That's his story, though.
That John Denver guy is full of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be at RLD the end of next month. We may do some type of live stream earlier in the day on Saturday, maybe. We got to see, but there won't be a regularly scheduled live stream next month. Just not enough time in the day. So,
Alrighty.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you want to hang around for a moment afterwards, Jed, if you could.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
We appreciate you coming on. You classed the place up, you know.
Thank you for everybody that stayed on and watched, and all of our fans.
Right.
Groupies. Zach Riggins likes it when I call him a groupie. He's following me around the 1 year. All right. Have a good evening, everybody.
Good night.